Hello, this is Dr. Kim Moore, your guide to leading with confidence. In this week's More Leadership Moment, we are going to discuss leadership philosophy. So I have a question for you. Do you have a guiding philosophy? Most people do, but they don't realize it. In fact, their choices reveal their philosophy. Let me give you an example. For some people, it is live for today and let tomorrow take care of itself. Others believe play now and pay later. In fact, being the mother of 5 children, in our household, our kids often demonstrated that same philosophy of play now and pay later. In my first year of college, I joined ROTC. Now you're wondering, why, Kim? Why did you join ROTC? Is it because you've always had a desire to be in the military? Nope. Was it because your father is retired military? Nope. Let me guess one more time. Was it because you like wearing a uniform and having other people tell you how you could wear your hair, what you needed to wear every day, how you should speak, and how you should do everything? Well, the answer to that would still be no. I joined ROTC for one reason. I wanted to ride in a helicopter. Yes. You see, my father, who I mentioned is retired military, was a crew chief on helicopters. And I was always fascinated by, what it would be like to fly in a helicopter. So, ROTC was offering free helicopter rides with one small caveat. That caveat was you had to join the program. I decided, well, why not? I'll join the program. I'll get to ride in a helicopter, which is something I've always wanted to do. And it won't be so bad. So I joined ROTC. Now, I would love to tell you that I was a model cadet. But the answer to that would be, no, I wasn't. In fact, I was a terrible cadet. During my first year of ROTC, I was so bad that my fellow cadets evaluated me as the worst cadet in the unit. Now, I know you find that hard to believe. Why? Because after all, I'm a very likable person. I'm funny, I'm smart, I'm loyal, I'm warm and sensitive. Therefore, how could anybody rate me at the bottom of all of the cadets in the unit? In fact, not just one person, all of my fellow cadets rated me at the bottom. Well, I'm quite sure you can imagine how I felt. I was devastated. It disturbed me so much that I decided I needed to do some soul searching. So I made an appointment to meet with our command sergeant major. I went to his office, sat down in his chair, and asked him that question. How could everybody rate me as the worst cadet in the unit? And I sat there and I told him all of the great qualities that I had, just like I shared a few of them with you. Well, he sat patiently, waited for me to take a breath, and then he asked me a question. I have to tell you that this question rocked my world. In fact, I still use the same question today as I'm coaching other leaders. Now, I know you're wondering, Kim, what question did he ask you that you would still be using today? Well, it was a very simple question, but yet very profound. What was the question? He asked me, what was my leadership philosophy? Well, I sat there with the deer in the headlight look. I didn't have an answer. I knew the words that I always spoke to people, and I also knew what my actions were, but I didn't understand what was my leadership philosophy and how that philosophy governed the choices that I made. So he asked me to think about it and to come back to him with an answer. So over the next few days, I pondered, what was my leadership philosophy? Well, I realized that my actions indicated that my philosophy was me first. Everything that I had done that first year in ROTC indicated that I was only concerned about myself. You see, everything that they asked me to do, I looked through the lens of how did it affect me? It wasn't about the organization. It wasn't about adding value to the other cadets. It was always about me. So my actions indicated that my philosophy was me first. Well, I knew that that wasn't going to work. So I decided to make a change. I began to study the traits of great leaders. And what I learned still shapes the choices that I make today. You see, great leaders have vision and courage. They put others' needs over their own, and they accept responsibility to lead. So over the next 2 years, instead of putting myself first, I put others first. Dan Cathy, who is the chairman and CEO of Chick-fil-A, said, "There is no secret formula or magical 3-step process that graduates us into leaders. Leaders have the opportunity to influence the lives of others by always looking for ways to inspire and add value. As a leader, our actions must reflect our leadership philosophy. So how does a leader create an environment where individuals feel appreciated and valued? It starts with the leader. In his blog, Dan's Leadership Tools, Dan Cathy shares life lessons he has learned from overseeing more than 1,500 Chick-fil-A restaurants and over 50,000 employees. While many people would say that Dan's success is based on selling chicken, he credits his success to his leadership philosophy. What is that philosophy? Well, Dan Cathy leads by example. So, here's your quote for this week's More Leadership Moment. When leaders' actions align with their leadership philosophy, we inspire others and add value to those we lead. Now, as Paul Harvey would say, here's the rest of the story from my ROTC experience. In my senior year of college, I was selected as the first female cadet commander. That's right. I went from worst to first. How? I aligned my actions with my leadership philosophy. So what is my leadership philosophy? It's one I follow today. It is to lead by example. So my question for you as I leave you is, what is your leadership philosophy? And how do you model it? This is Dr. Kim Moore, your guide to leading with confidence. Have a great week.